Tonight, the 17th Shetland Light Dragoons of his most Imperial Guard, the Astra Militarum, face off against the Necrons. This brigade detachment is led by a tank commander. His warlord trait, Old Grudges, which will allow any units within 6 inches of him to reroll the wound rolls against one target nominated during deployment. That is a last cannon on the front. He has, in his command, 2 stock Lehman Russes, each with heavy bolters on the front, a Lehman Russ Punisher with 3 heavy bolters, and a Lehman Russ with the plasma cannon on top, 2 on the sides, and a heavy bolter. He is supported by a headquarters section to include a company commander with a plasma pistol and power sword, a Tempestor Prime who has a Rod of Command and also the Laurels of Command, which will allow him on a 4+ to give a second order to an infantry unit of the Scions on a 4+. And then 2 Psychers, Premier Psychers. They both have Psychic Barrier and Night Shroud as their powers. I have 3 light squads of Tempestus Scions. Each sergeant has a power sword and a pistol. And then of course, their much vaunted technology in their hell guns, so 6 of those each. And I have 3 infantry squads. Each one is led by a sergeant with a pistol and a chainsword. Each one has a flamer, and each one has a Voxcaster. Their steeds for tonight will be the Venerable Chimera. Each one has a multi-laser and heavy bolter, and the commander's Chimera is a little kit bash that I did, but still with the multi-laser and heavy bolter on the front. Lastly, over on the left, 3 Sentinels to fill out my fast support requirements, 1 with the missile launcher, 2 with auto cannons. Now the 17th Shetland Light Dragoons like to move around and mix it up a bit. So they use the Talern Regiment's doctrines of war. So, using the new codex tonight, you should see a pretty mobile guard force taking the fight straight to the Necrons.
Hey guys, for tonight's battle report I brought a 1850 points list of Necrons. It's just actually 1 battalion detachment. In the center we have Overlord with Foresight, Barebones Cryptek. Behind we have 5 Lich Guard. On the right we have a 10-man squad of Immortals with Gauss Blasters. Behind them also 10-man Immortals, but I will prox them as Tesla guys. In the center we have here 5 Deathmarks. Behind we have here Knife Sight. We switch over, we have a Stalker. Then we have a Ghost Arc. Over here we have the infamous Terrasa Arc Vault. And at the end we have a blob of 20 Necron Warriors completing my detachment.
Warlord trait?
Tenacious Warrior.
Alright, so that will give you a total of 6 command points. We will roll off for mission and be back after deployment. The mission for tonight is tactical escalation, so each of us will start with 1 card and run round, and we will draw up from there until we get to round 6 and 7, which will have 6 and 7 cards. Simon thinks this favors him because the Necrons are resilient, but we will see. The deployment map that we rolled is Search and Destroy, which is table quarters. Since I placed the last objective, I got to choose first. We'll go over objectives real quick. We got 1, 2, 4, 6, 5, and 3 there. So the guard has come into this corner right here. As you can see, lots and lots of tanks ready to do battle with the Necrons. Necrons push the line up in front, and you got warriors in the center, and then Immortals flanking them on the left and right and supported by vehicles. Tesseract Arc is contesting objective number 5. And then the flyer is hiding right now behind there. So, Simon, as far as my warlord trait, Old Grudges, I get to pick 1 of your units and nominate it. I'm going to nominate the Tesseract Arc up there. So obviously, we'll reroll wounds against that one. Simon, of course, got done deploying before I did, so he will be getting a +1 to his roll as he goes first. Let's go ahead and roll and see. A 3.
And 1.
A 1. All right, so right now the Guard are going first, but in this house there's a history of people stealing the initiative from me. Would you care to try?
Of course I do.
All right, let's see what the Necrons got.
It's a 6!
Simon says he doesn't like the confetti, so Simon, do something epic and I'll do lightning bolts or something.
I like lightning bolts, something like this.
There we go. All right, so Necrons will be going first. Turn 1, we'll go with cards. Yeah.
Man, that's so infamous. You're infamous for this one. Getting first round and then get snatched by seizing initiative.
All right, well, let's have a good game.
You me too. So this is Necrons before turn 1 movement. I draw secure objective 6, which is actually holding now by my Necron immortals. So that's fine.
That'll work. See if you can get first blood as well.
So here we are after finishing Necrons turn 1 movement. Actually everything in the center just moved up. Over there the immortals also moved a little bit up, still contesting. The Stalker stayed still. Terrasa arced also. And my knife sight went over here to this building.
And the few times in the game that the flyer will actually get a cover save, so well played. Okay, so next is Necron shooting phase, as you have no psychers.
Obviously. Okay guys, so this is the end of Necron's turn 1, obviously. All the shooting, starting with the heat ray, which targeted and stripped away 5 wounds of Asnim and Russ.
When Simon declared that as the target, I did invoke one of my stratagems, take cover, to increase his armor save by 1.
Yes, then I used command point for heavy D6 shots from the solar fire of the singularity chamber, because it was a 1, so I got them 4 shots. I think
you hit 3 times.
Hit 3 times, no wounds.
Yeah, the toughness 8, Lehman Roos.
Yes, then actually all the shooting from Tesla guys, Tesla Immortals, Gauss Flare, Necron Warriors, and the knife sight didn't manage to strip any further wound on them. Even though I had in the first row of the Tesla guys, I think 5 6s.
Yeah, out of 10.
Out of 10.
None in the second roll, thankfully. Everything hitting on 2s was pretty scary, but the 2 up save, 8 toughness of the Lehman Roos proved solid. So no first blood. As far as points scored, though,
I scored secure objective 6, obviously. And one reminder for our people who are wondering why I have a 2 up, it's because of the Stalker with the targeting relay, which has the special rule that you have when it shoot and when it did shoot, and you shoot with your other units, you get a +1 for hitting. So that's why actually everything was hitting on 2s. So yeah, that was a small reminder.
All right, very good. So now on to Imperial Guard, turn 1. Imperial Guard, turn 1 card, secure objective 5. That is up there. Simon has invited me to drop down there. I'm not going to take him up on that. We're just going to hold the line, and this is tactical escalation, so we'll get more cards. That's the one thing for sure. All right, on to the movement phase. 17 Shetland Light Dragoons, movement phase is complete. I used 1 stratagem command point to bring him back up to 8 wounds. It means he can't move or assault, but that's okay. I punched my chimeras up a little bit, and then the executioner moved up 5 inches to get in range of the Tesseract flying thing of death. And these guys punched up a little bit too, in order to make sure their heavy bolters can reach some targets. Otherwise, I just moved this sentinel back here to make sure deep strikers don't come back for me. And that will be the end of my movement phase. But as you can see, the guard already moving out. Very happy with the Talon doctrines at this point. Imperial Guard psychic phase, the primary psyker cowering back here in the corner, did his duty, and he cast Night Shroud on the Punisher. So now Simon will be -1 to hit the Punisher here in the future. So now we're on to the shooting phase. Imperial Guard shooting phase turn 1 went remarkably well. I started off with my Vanquisher giving orders to those two Leman Russes. It cost me 1 stratagem point, but it got me a second order. So they were re-rolling hit rolls of 1. That was the only order I gave, and then I started firing the Vanquisher with the commander at the night sight that was over here. Even though I was -1 to hit, with his increased ballistic skill of 3+, I managed to hit twice with the Vanquisher cannon. Simon failed both his saves, and I did 10 points there. And then the last cannon did him in. Really suffered from not having quantum shielding. The big news there is Simon's Lich Guard and his Warlord were in that, so I scored 1 point there and took a whole bunch of points off the board. After that, these two Leman Russes opened up with their heavy bolters on the squad of Immortals that was there, and with the battle cannons up at the, what do you call this thing, Simon?
Tesseract Arc.
Tesseract Arc. Combined, the battle cannons took all but 1 wound off of it. 12. So it took 12 off of it. It was no, was it 12? 11. So it took 11 off it. Pretty impressive. After that, they tried to get it destroyed by using the 3 Sentinels, but the 3 Sentinels didn't manage to do anything, unfortunately. They're really there for board control for me. The Chimeras support it. Took a couple of warriors down. This Chimera, well actually this Punisher right here, took all but 1, and then this Chimera cleaned up the last one, so that unit was destroyed. No reanimation protocols for them. And this Chimera shot over here, taking out 1 of the Immortals as well. Obviously he's going to have a chance to get back up. But overall, just a devastating show of firepower for the Imperial Guard in turn 1. We'll see if the Necrons can recover. As far as points, besides Slay the Warlord, my other thing was secure Objective 5. I am actually going to keep that for right now. I think I can get rid of that Tesseract Arc and then maybe drop some Scions down there later on in the game. It does open up some options for me. So with that, Simon will draw 2 cards and see if he can stay in the game.
So guys, this is before Necrons turn 2 objective drawings. Obviously I again have defend objective 6 and I have defend objective 5, which are, as you can see, here and over there.
That thing ain't surviving. I'm calling it right now. But Simon's trying to stay in this game just by drawing the right cards at this point. So on to Necron's movement phase 2.
So guys, this is my movement, Necrons turn 2. As you can see, I'm obviously phasing out after this crushing blow by the Shetlands. So as of far off my objectives, I moved my my Ghost Arc over here before I moved then my Tesseract Vault, because I have to defend both objectives. So hopefully getting those 4 points.
And advanced as well.
Yes, I did advance. And here also the Necrons went back, the Cryptek went back, just the Stalker stayed where it is, and let's see what we can do.
Alright, on to the shooting phase. Okay, Simon, your turn 2 shooting.
And also wrap up after turn 2 completely, because I don't do anything else.
Good call.
So, Heat Ray of this one, hit 2 times, rerolling 1 using command point. Then wounding 1, unfortunately, shrugging off, I think, 6 wounds, 6 damage.
Yeah, he took 6 damage off of him, so very good 2 wound damage roll for it.
And my friend, that Tesseract, did hit on a 6 with 3 shots.
Which was amazing, because I used Night Shroud on that Leman Russ, he's -1 to hit. This is at the slowest profile and also moved and has heavy weapons, so needing 6 to hit. He hit once.
And yes, didn't wound again.
We're still there.
So this was today, the Tesseract, I can say this was like a misbuy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rest, of course, these warriors also were shooting completely everything into this Punisher. Didn't manage anything, obviously. And my Immortals just shrug off 1 wound over there on this Chimera.
Yeah, so again, I used take cover. I really thought the Punisher was gone, so I saved my take cover for this Chimera, and I managed to save 1 with that. So, not sure it was worth a command point, but wasn't bad. So with that, Simon, you score a couple. Let's go take a look.
Not yet, not yet. In your turn.
You're right, those are defend. Alright, so we'll come back a guard turn 2 and see what cards I draw. Okay, would you believe that, folks? Pulled secure objective 5 again. That's objective 5. You think that's funny? So,
this is karma.
I do have first blood at this time. I did not mention it last time when I took down the night sight. That got me first blood. And so the score is 2-1 right now, but Simon's going to get a couple points here unless I can kill those guys off that objective. So next up is our psychic phase. All right, folks, I jumped the gun when I said psychic was next because it was moving first. So what I did is I punched my sentinel up a little bit and then really moved these guys. They got a 12-inch movement, so I've taken over objective 3. This guy just remains stationary. I'm not going to jerry-rig him at this point because he's on his last legs anyway. I did move my Psyker out of here, and I went ahead and cast his Psychic Power because I told you I was going to give you a Psychic next video. So here it is, Night Shroud on the Executioner, and then punched him up a little bit. And then these two Chimeras have moved forward to make the best use out of their last gun raise. And then lastly, most excitingly, at the end of my movement phase, I dropped in some of my Tempestus Scions, as you see. There's the Tempestor Prime, a squad of 7 up on the ruins, and a squad of what used to be 7 here. Simon counterplayed using his Hunters from Hyperspace rule, and landed those guys there. Simon, you want to talk about what they did?
Yeah, actually, first of all, he it's Hunters from Space and Ethereal Interception, meaning that whenever you drop a unit which is not disembarking or something else, just like when you deep strike, I can essentially counter deep strike here over there. So this is what I did, because first unit he dropped here, and I wanted to prevent that he drops, maybe because here was some space from science, that he could drop over here. So that's why I dropped them here, and the special rule also says that they can shoot, and obviously they are in rapid fire range, hitting 9 times, wounding 6 times. 2 of them were mortal wounds, so killing 4 science without they even did a shooting.
Yeah, that was pretty effective, but now we do get to do some shooting, so we'll see how the 17th Shetland Light Dragoons respond to that trickery. Okay, we're going to do an overview of the shooting phase, and then Simon's going to go ahead and concede, because both of us are just trying to process what just happened here. It was nuts, to say the least. Starting with the Vanquisher Cannon, did a little bit of damage, I think 2 wounds to your Spider, yes. And then the 2 battle cannons are really good against Necrons, obviously, with the D3 for damage. They managed to destroy it, which allowed me to go ahead and open up with the Punisher and that Chimera and this Warrior Squad. Simon was not rolling very good on saves. He ended up losing 9 to the shots. He lost 2 when the Spider blew up, and the Cryptek lost 2 there as well. Some autocannon fire was in there as well. Over here, the Scions dropped down, and these guys did 3 wounds after they were given the order to first rank fire, second rank fire. I failed the Laurels of Command roll in order to give them a second command, but passed with this squad, who managed to do a couple of wounds there. But then the big bad Exterminator Plasma Cannon opened up. I overcharged it and rolled 1-1, but had 9 shots and hit on 8 of them. It was incredible. And then with 2s to wound, since I overcharged it, managed to knock out 6 remaining Immortals, and so they were dead. Not even fired yet are these 2 Chimeras. So when we look around the board, and we'll cover this in the wrap-up, the 17th Shetland Light Dragoons lost 4 Scions after those death marks moved in. We got some damage ticked off of this Chimera, and this Punisher is going to need a major refit when it goes back into maintenance, and then 1 self-inflicted wound on the Plasmacutioner. Simon lost a ton of stuff. So he did score quite a bit. How many points are you at?
It was with this defend objective 5, obviously here. I made 2 points, so in total 3. But even on points, you're winning.
Well, no, not yet, but I will be. So this game is a foregone conclusion.
And I can't hold until turn 5 to hope on a free up roll. That's not gonna happen.
No, this game right here is going to do nothing to quell the voices of people saying this Guard Codex is overpowered. Oh, we got to play a lot more games with it. I certainly had a lot of fun playing with them. This round again, I used a stratagem to give him a second order, which was useful to have them reroll ones to hit. I used the Night Shroud again, and then the Laurels of Command over here. So lots of fun. As you saw, the Talon doctrine used by the 17th Shetland Light Dragoons was very valuable. I was moving and popping all over the board. Was really putting the pressure on them instead of doing the typical Cadian thing. Cadians are such cowards. Of waiting for the enemy to come to them. So we'll come back with the wrap up for this very short, devastating battle report.
That's a direct order. Do it now.
Okay, this is the second time recording this. This time we're going to do it without the curse words.
Without bad, strong language.
So Simon is still trying to process what happened.
Yeah, this is insane what happened over there. I mean, you guys, you just see me that I'm just smashed. Because, first of all, in the first round, you just take off the night sight with two hits of this plasma staff.
Well, let's go before that. So you did steal the initiative.
Yes.
And you were really looking to take out the Punisher. Mm. And you almost got it. Fortunately for the Lehman Russes, they're toughness 8. So even with the melt weapon, it takes a 4 to wound them. And that's where you fell down, because you hit it quite a bit. Mm. It was 50-50 chance on wounding it is where that failed. And once you failed to do that, I'm not sure the Punisher was as critical to your loss as other things. But in your mind, that was really kind of the center of my army, and that needed to be dead. And it did not die that first turn.
Yeah, that was really crucial, because I know that the Terrestrial Arc, it will die, but I needed just to get rid of this Punisher, because this 20 shots, I mean, on my Necron infantry, which is mostly my army based on, it just hurts them a lot.
Yeah.
And this happened later with my Immortals.
Yeah, the very bottom of turn 1.
Yeah.
They took out a bunch, and it is very much diminished state in turn 2, still managed to kill quite a few warriors, because even though you need 6s to hit, you're still shooting 49 times. Mm-hmm. And then you're wounding on 3s after that for most things.
Yes.
But I would, to back up just a little bit, number 1, this is the Guard army I've wanted to play since I started playing 40k in 5th edition. Lots of tanks, mechanized infantry, fast and brutal. And the new Codex, I think, is brilliant. Mm-hmm. Maybe a bit overpowered. Like I said, we're going to have to play some more to figure that out. But I used the Talon strategies, doctrines, whatever you want to call them, the regimental keyword, in order to represent what I want to do with my 17 Shetland Light Dragoons. And that is a fast, mobile army that attacks and then fades. And I think it did well. I got to use quite a few of the stratagems, but not all of them, because the game was so short.
Yes, unfortunately.
The orders are brilliant. Later on in the game, I was planning to use the Talon specific tank order to move my tanks even farther, but really didn't need to. So as far as my list, I think we were talking about it off camera. You think it's a very competitive list? And
yes, indeed, I do. I mean, you have hard hitters, a lot of them. You have even with your Punisher, you have something against blobs. In your Chimeras, you have your veterans with flamers and shotguns, and not shotguns, and your normal las guns. Then, of course, your science.
Yep.
So actually, you have a Psyker to round it up, to buff a little. 2 Psykers, yeah. To round it up. So, to be honest, I'm forecasting that this kind of lists will be the kind of like the new cheese on tournaments. Because I think, I mean, you have hard hitters, you have an all-round list, and you're tough. I mean, 5 Lehman Russes. I mean, obviously, one mistake by mine, I have to say, that I didn't expect that you bring 5 Leman Ruses. I thought you bring 2 or 3. So with my Terrasark Vogue and my Stalker, I could have managed this threat. Yes, and your Chimeras, I mean, I don't care so much about your Chimeras because either I just shoot them off with my Gauss Blasters or just shrug off some wounds with flares. So that's fine for me. But the rest is like, I think that the list will go in this way. Either you will have, again, blobs of conscripts. Okay, it's capped to 30 per squad, but still you can field a lot. And yeah, or something like this.
So the conscript lob is going to remain relevant if for no other reason than anyone crazy enough to buy, collect, and then put together and paint 300 conscripts is crazy enough to keep using them.
Yes.
So for all those people who invested that much time and money into it, I don't imagine that's going to go away because it's been effective and it's going to continue to be effective. But this is just another way Guard players can play with the Codex.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I am still playing Necrons with the Index, so we have to wait what will drop there. Obviously, as you saw, I'm playing the Toct Dynasty, so I'm also quite curious to see what they get, kind of like chapter tactics.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, I mean, even if I would maybe play, maybe one thing, if I would assume this, that you have so much tanks, I would probably place a monolith somewhere in the middle, just drop him down, and then yeah, I just place out, just face in my warriors or my Lich Guard with the Lord, and you can do some havoc into your lines, and you have to be careful on the monolith because when he blows up, he blows really badly up. So yeah.
So that brings me to another point I've been thinking about. I just got the Codex this morning, and a Warlord trait that has not been much talked about is Old Grudges, which I use tonight. Yes. I think it is so effective against armies who have that centerpiece model that takes a lot of points, and really the whole army revolves around. Rerolling wounds with the high-strength weapons that the Guard has and the multiple shots that the Guards had. If somebody's bringing a Magnus the Red or a Mortarion or a
whatever Lord of War or a specific big unit, that will be just insane.
That goes a long, long way. Now you need to keep that Leman Russ commander alive, but you can do that fairly easily just by using the psychic powers that are now available. I mean, you got the +1 to your save with Psychic Barrier. You got +1. Or -1 to people shooting at it with the Shroud, the Night Shroud. And then you got the Take Cover order, which I use twice, which is very effective. It's not an order, it's a stratagem, where you get an additional 1 to your save. And, you know, thinking about it, you could even put that Warlord trait on an infantry character, and then it's almost impossible to kill him early in the game. And then the Guard can just lay down a ton of firepower, get rid of that one big thing, and still have plenty of firepower to deal with the rest of the stuff in the army.
Definitely.
I love that Warlord trait.
Yeah, that's definitely. I think, as you also mentioned off camera, that this is something like a Warlord trait. This is overseen.
Yes.
And I think maybe in a couple of, if time passes, I think people will relate to this Warlord trait.
As soon as everyone sees this battle report.
Yes.
The whole internet will know.
And yeah, particularly, I mean, of course, when you're playing Fluffy with your Valhallan or your Vostorian or whatever ones, of course you don't pick this one. You pick the related one.
Yeah.
But this is really awesome. I mean, rerolling all wounds on battle cannons. Then a next thing, I mean, this rule with this half of your movement and getting 2d6 shots on a battle cannon, for example.
I don't think it's crazy. I really don't.
It's not crazy, but still, I mean, you have statistically, you know, 2d6, you have 7 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Which you're hitting on 4, so now you're hitting 3.5 times. So, you know, it can be very powerful. Of course, if you take the Catachan regimen, then you're re-rolling one of those 2d6 or both those 2d6 or what have you. So I think it just brought it in line with a lot of other things in the Guard Codex. But you still pay a pretty good premium for those Lehman Russes.
How much do you pay actually?
The Punisher cost me about 165. The Executioner about 180.
It's still reasonable.
Yeah, it's not Space Marine prices. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, for example, if I compare it to my knives, not knives, my Death Sight, which has the Strength 10 weapon, Heavy D3. I mean, I'm paying for this one like 240 points, and to be honest, well, I'm not managing so much stuff like with your Lehman Russes. So.
Well, it will be interesting to see as we wrap this up what this list can do against Horde armies. I think you pointed out that might be a weakness for this particular list. We will see. I think I have enough firepower inside those Chimeras to buy me some time. But
particularly if you Punisher Gatling on the Lehman Russ, this is what will happen, in my opinion. A decent blob player will just focus everything what he has on this Punisher Gatling to get rid of this one.
Yeah, that's where the take cover comes in, so you get that 2-up save.
Yeah, that was also, I mean, well, guys.
Enough said?
I'm still protesting this one, so.
Protesting?
Protesting.
There's an asterisk next to my win. Didn't even make it the full true turns, but I don't blame you on that one.
Yeah.
But we got more games coming up in the future, so if you like what you see here, go ahead and like and subscribe, and then we will see you soon.
So, talk to you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.